Welcome to the seventh module. In this particular module, we are going to talk about the convergence system. Now, understand that this is one such module which 99.99% of companies or agencies never ever touch into. Because the point is, 99.99% of companies are all about generating leads. So, if you have watched in courses before that, they will talk about leads. If you have talked about agencies or if you have worked with agencies, they'll talk about leads. If you are talking with anyone, they'll just tell you, hey, by doing this thing, you can generate more leads for your business. You can do this, you can do that, you can get more leads. But the point is, it is pure nonsense. It does not matter how many leads you generate if you cannot convert them. Right, and to really convert these leads, you need to understand how the online journey looks like, and most important part is you need to have like your own experience of converting online leads. Now, for example, in our business, we generate leads or appointments for that matter, and we close them. So we have an first-hand experience of generating leads or appointments as well as closing them. All of our previous clients with whom we have been working for years, yes, I'm talking about years, that is the one of the reasons why, because we just don't focus on leads, but we also tell them how to convert those leads. And once you know that you can generate a lead and you can convert a certain percentage of those leads, I mean, that is like game over. And then you will never ever have to worry about finding a customer again, because now you know the entire process of generating a lead, and now you know the entire process of converting a lead as well. So in this particular module, we are going to talk about what is convergence system, why do we need a convergence system, we'll understand a little about the customer journey, and one of the most important parts we are going to discuss about this, which is no response does not mean no interest. Right, and this is where this particular module is connected to the ninth module, wherein we are going to talk about closing the deals, like how exactly to close online deals. So I mean, this particular module is closely linked with the module number 9. Now, without wasting any time, let us dig deep into it. So what exactly is a convergence system? See, whenever a person fills out the form, all the way up to this person paying you token amount, everything is like a convergence system. So from a person filling out the form on social media to he paying you token amount, everything is a part of convergence system. When I say everything, literally everything is a part of convergence system. So whatever comes in between is a part of the convergence system. Now let us talk a little bit about why do we need a convergence system. Okay, the first point is leads don't matter if you don't know how to convert them. As in tomorrow, let's say even if you generate 1,000 leads for your business, and if you don't convert any of them, then that is not going to matter. Second thing is we get an ROI by converting leads and not by generating them. So let's say if you generate 1,000 leads, you don't get an ROI of anything. If you generate 1,000 leads, you get your return on investment by actually converting leads. And the last point why which we need like conversion system is because of the multi-step process. Okay, I'll write it down over here. Multi-step process in conversion. Now, what do I mean by a multi-step process? Okay, let's say like you get or you generate a lead online. The first step after generating a lead online is like calling to confirm whether the lead has filled out an inquiry genuinely and do a verification for that. Right, now that is one of the most crucial steps, because let's say if 100 people fill out the form, there are going to be 5 to 10% of people who are not going to be of good quality. They are going to say things like, hey, I don't even remember filling out the form, hey, I don't even do this. So these are junk leads, so we need to eliminate them. Okay, the second thing that we do after that is we do the qualification as well. Let me write it down, I missed this part. So second thing is we need to do the qualification part as well. So for example, let's say someone has filled out the form, then you ask him some questions. Let's say you asked him a question about, hey, I see like you have put in your budget as less than 10 lakhs, for example. So with a budget less than 10 lakhs, what is that you want to get done? Like what is like the scope of the project? So you need to just qualify this particular person, like, hey, if this person is actually going worth doing the site visit as well. So for example, if someone says that, hey, I just want to get like a small carpenter work done, I mean that is not worth your time, so you don't do site visits in that case. If someone says that, hey, I am not interested in doing this because I just wanted to explore about your services, I don't have any such requirement, so I was just looking forward to services or something like that, then that person is also not doing the site visit. But if the person says like, hey, I want to get like a modular kitchen done, and I have like a couple of other requirements as well, then once you verify and qualify that person, understand that, hey, this person at least can give me a work of 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, or 10 lakhs, or 20 lakhs, and all those things, then you make sure like, hey, now this person is qualified, now let me go and do the site visit, right? Now after the site visit, you are going to go in and send in the proposals, so ultimately the sales and proposal thing would come into picture, then you will do the follow-ups, and in the end there is going to be a closing, right? So all the steps that are involved, right from generating a lead to closing them, of these things can come under the conversion system, right? As it is like a multi-step process, that is the reason why we need a conversion system. So we are not going to call people and tell them that, hey, I saw that you filled out a form, you filled out an inquiry, and that person is not going to send us money. There is like a complete multi-step process that takes place, and that is the reason why we need to make sure like we design and develop a proper conversion system. Now let us understand a little bit about the customer journey. Okay, so how exactly is the nature of the customer, what state of mind he is in, and this will really help you to convert the customers, and you will have, let's say, maximum conversion rate for the leads that you have generated in. Okay, so the first step is we need to understand that the person is scrolling on social media, right? The first step is the person is scrolling on social media. So now once he's scrolling on social media, he fills out your form as he has like the desire or need for your services. So like he sees like, hey, this person provides interior design services, and I need to get interior done for my home, I'm really interested in this. So he fills out your form because he has a need or desire for your services. And what happens that is he gets busy in his own world, like maybe he resumes the scrolling on social media, he goes through his day, he does all other things as well, and then you call him, like you call him to this thing, you call him to confirm, you call him to verify, you call him to qualify, and then the entire trust journey begins, right? Then the entire trust journey begins, and I will talk more about trust and how to develop trust, how to build trust, and all those things in this ninth module. This ninth module is all about like trust building, you're understanding the deals, difference between online leads and referrals. So in this particular module, I'm going to dig deep into it, but for now I'm going to just touch base on some basic pointers. Okay, the first point is, see, as a person, this person has his own life. Okay, he gets up and he has to go to office, or he has to run his business, then he comes back home, he has lunch, he again gets back to office, or he gets back to his life, then he has some family commitments or whatever. So he has like his entire day which is packed, right? He has like his entire day which is packed. Now in between this entire day, he's scrolling on social media at any point of time. He may be scrolling during his lunch hours, he may be scrolling during night hours or whatever. So he's scrolling on social media, and he already has like a need or desire for your services. So that is the reason why he has filled out the form. But after filling out the form, he again gets busy into his work, or he gets busy into his world. So now when you call him, you have to understand that he is not checking his phone, or he's not awaiting for your call, right? He's getting busy in his world. So for that matter, whenever he's speaking with you, he would be doing hundreds of things. Let's say you call this particular person, he may be like, oh yes, I remember filling out the form, oh yes, I have the requirement or whatever. Now he is busy in his old one. Let's say he's like he's like in the middle of meeting, or he's like talking with his family member, he might be doing anything, and he gets your call in between, right? So this call is an interruption. This call is an interruption to whatever activity that he's doing. So we need to understand this psychology of the customer, and then design our things accordingly. And this is what we are going to dig deep into, like this particular module, the trust factor and online leads and referrals. Second thing is one big blunder that people make is like people compare online leads with referral leads. So what does a referral lead mean is like, let's say my name is Aditya and I have Rahul. So I ask Rahul like, hey, I see like you have done interior design work, and then Rahul tells me like, hey, Vishal is the person who has done like the interior design work. So now Aditya has already heard good things about Vishal. Aditya has seen Vishal's work in his friend's Rahul's house. So Aditya automatically trusts Vishal. So ultimately, Aditya and Vishal's conversation is going to be very different as compared to, let's say, there is another guy called as Preetham, and Preetham has just seen Vishal's ad on Facebook. Okay, so whenever Preetham has seen Vishal's ad on Facebook, then in that particular case, he does not have any idea about Vishal. He does not have any idea about Vishal's business. So his journey of talking or communicating with Vishal is going to be much, much different than Aditya's journey of talking and communicating with Vishal. So you need to understand that fundamental difference around treating like an online lead is an online way, and like a referral lead is a referral way. And once you understand the customer journey, like, hey, the person is scrolling on social media, he has a need or desire for his services, so he fills out the form and then he gets busy in his world. Now this is one of the most important pointers. People feel like, hey, now as this person has filled out my form, he should just answer my phone. So that is never mandatory. That is never ever mandatory. This person is not going to pick out your phone maybe for the first instance, maybe for the second instance, maybe you tried calling him a couple of times and he did not pick up your call. Or let's say you called him for the first time and he told you like, hey, let's do the site visit on 26th, and when you called him on 26th, he maybe stopped picking your calls, right? Or he did not come in for the site visit. Now there are multiple things that could take place in whatever thing that is happening. So this brings me to my final pointer about the conversion journey is no response does not mean no interest. Now please write this statement. Please write this statement anywhere. I don't care. Maybe write this statement in big words and paste it whatever or wherever you want. No response does not mean the person is not interested. As I mentioned, the prospect's life, once he fills out the form, he gets busy in his world. So we don't know what kind of activities he's occupied with. And second most important part is he has his own life. He may have medical emergencies, he may have marriages, he may have deaths, he may have accidents, he may have personal life events that we have absolutely no idea about. Now what happens is like, whenever someone submits the form and whenever we call him and whenever that person does not pick up the call, automatically we assume like, hey, this online lead is of low quality, people don't pick up my phone. Hey, online lead is of no use, people don't pick up my call. See, that is never the case. Every person has his own life. We don't know what this person is going through, and I have made this mistake the most number of times that anyone else. Like whenever I used to work with clients in the beginning, or whenever I used to run ads for my own business as well, whenever someone did not pick up the call, I thought like, hey, this person is not interested. Or let's say someone picked up the call and someone arranged an appointment with me, and if the person does not show up for the appointment, then I used to think like, hey, the person is not interested, or hey, this person is of low quality, hey, this person is not interested in whatever I have to offer. And I have made this mistake numerous times. But once I understood this customer journey, once I understood like, hey, this person may have medical emergency, may have marriages, may have deaths and all other things, then I changed my approach. Now why I am telling you these things is because once I started following up with people, I'll tell you like couple of stories that actually changed my perspective. So I actually called a client because he booked an appointment with us. Okay, I called him and we were going to get an appointment on 9:30 p.m. IST. So he told me like a late night appointment time, and I called him at the time of appointment and he did not show up. He was like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm busy, I cannot show up. let's postpone that to 9:30 next day. Right. Then I again called him the next day at 9:30 p.m. I sent him like WhatsApp messages and all those things, like the part of our convergence system. But now the next day he did not pick up my call. He did not pick up my call, and I was like, "Hey, I mean, this person is of low quality. This person did not pick up my call. This person has postponed me. So this person is not interested in my services or whatever." But one day, what happened was like maybe after a week or so, I had like a bunch of leads, and I was like scrolling through YouTube, and I read things like, hey, if you do follow-ups you can close at least 2x more deals. And I was like, oh, this is bullshit. I have like these many people, and I know like these are all low quality leads, but I thought like, hey, let's give it a try. So I called my entire list of people who did not show up or who did not pick my call initially, and this guy was in that particular list. When I called him and told him like, yeah, Amaditya, if you remember me, he was like, yes. Actually, I was pissed off and I was arrogant. I told him like, hey, let me know if you are interested in my services or not, because if you're not interested, I'm not going to call you. And this guy said something that blew up my mind. He said to me like, hey, I'm so sorry, I had my marriage yesterday. And that was like an eye opener for me. This guy says like, he had my marriage yesterday, and I was so sorry, I was very much occupied, and I am truly interested in whatever you have to offer. It is just that I'm not getting enough time right now, and I'm not able to commit anything. And even if I commit anything, there comes up something in between, and I'm not able to meet with you. Now this blew up my mind. This blew up my mind completely. And this guy told me like, hey, can we meet, let's say, after 10 days? And I was like, okay, I understand. I congratulated him. And after 10 days, I went on call with him, and I actually closed this guy. I actually went in and closed this guy. So that is just like one incident that took place on that particular day. Then there is like second incident. Like I had a lot of people that I followed up to on the same day, on the exact same day. I just call a guy, and I just tell to him like, hey, this time I was very polite, because I know like there was like actually this the call with this particular person, it made me less arrogant towards like leads who did not pick up my call or leads who did not show up. So I was like very humble after this conversation. So I told him like, hey, like are you not interested in my services, because I saw like you did not come up for appointment. And again this guy says like, hey, I'm very sorry, I had my grandmother's death, and that is the reason why the day we had our appointment, she passed away, and I was performing her rites, and that's the reason why I did not pick her. And when you called after that, I was busy during that times, and I could not pick up your call. I'm very much sorry. Now imagine this, would you as an person ever go in and do a business deal or whatever if there was some sort of death in your family? You would never do that, right? You would never do that. So this is what we need to understand. This is the kind of empathy that we need to have towards people who have filled out the forms, and who have shown interest in our services. So that is the reason why we need to treat these leads in those particular way, because it is not that if these guys do not respond, that means they are not interested. It is not the case. There are lots of things that would come into picture. There are lots and lots of things that would come into picture. So once you have the understanding of this, you would follow up with leads very easily. So you would do the follow-ups very easily, and you would talk with them. You would be understanding towards them. You would have a lot of empathy towards them. You will feel like, hey, if that person is not picking my call, no issues, and that person may be busy, or that person may be doing lots of other things. So once you do that, then you will have a lot of clarity on why you should follow up with leads. Okay. And how exactly will you maintain a record of all those things? Like, hey, there are lots of stages, there are lots of things, there are lots of comments. Because let's say once you have 100 leads, and for all those 100 leads you have to track this, then it becomes messy. Right? It becomes messy. That is why, I'll introduce you to the fourth module, which is the CRM and follow-up system setup. And in that module, we are going to talk about how we implement this entire convergence system, what stages we keep them in, and how we track everything using a CRM, how we set up like follow-up using CRM. And I'm going to show you how exactly things, we are doing for our own business, what are the stages and everything that we have set up. So yeah, let us do a quick recap of what we have covered in this particular module. We talked about the convergence system, about what exactly is a convergence system. We talked about why do we need a convergence system. We talked about the customer journey, what is the journey that a person goes through whenever he has filled out your form on social media. And then we talked about the most important concept, which is no interest. No response does not mean no interest. I hope that you got a lot of value from this video. Now I will urge you that please watch this video again and again, because this is one of the most important videos, and if you grasp everything from this video, I guarantee you that your close rate is going to get 2x, 5x, or even 10x as compared to any other person. Now that is pretty much it from this video, and see you in the next one.